Good morning, everyone. Leah Dixon here from Port Coquitlam, British Columbia. I am live this morning with my little monkey card class to go. So how this works is every Wednesday morning I go live. I'll present to you 3 cards, and then with a minimum $60 purchase using my host code, you can get the 3 cards that I made today, and you get the supplies to make 2 of each of them. You just need to have like your own inks and adhesives and stamp set. But I send you all the paper bits. So let's get started. I'm going to show you this cute little stamp set and punch bundle. This is from our brand new catalog that just went live yesterday. So here we go. It is the Little Monkey stamp set, and I'm such a sucker for like puns and little plays on words. So it's I'm bananas about you, just swinging by to say hi, and then Little Monkey, which is perfect for a first birthday or a baby card. And yeah, so it's just a super cute stamp set, and then it has the punch that coordinates with it. So this punches out, you can just do like a monkey and his face just out of paper, or you can stamp them and then punch them out, and then also the little banana. And so it coordinates with this little monkey and the banana, and punches those out both beautifully. So this set together is $53 plus shipping and taxes. And I'm going to show you some awesome things that you can do with it today. Now, all the other pieces in your card kit will actually be pre-cut by me using the Radiating Stitches dies. These were one of our online exclusive offerings. They're currently unavailable. They'll be back in stock the week of May the 15th. But when you get your kit, all of your pieces that require these dies are pre-cut with these dies. So not a worry. All right, I'm going to move those out of the way. We're going to bring in our first card. And there it is. I'll actually just give you guys a little close-up view of that. So the beautiful radiating stitches on both of the white layers, and then our sweet little monkey there. Okay, so the things that we need are all in our little envelope. So when you get your card kit, you get all your pieces pre-cut, and you actually get 2 of everything. My kit just has 1 because I'm only going to make 1 on air for you. So we'll pull out all of our pieces and we can get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is take both the large white piece and the small radiating stitches piece. So I'm going to take both of these and my envelope. So I'm actually going to move our card out of the way so I don't get ink all over it. I'm going to take all 3 of these pieces and some Memento black ink, and I'm going to stamp some leaves onto these pieces. So I'm going to start with, we've got 2 different leaves. Well, we've also got the vines, but we've got 2 larger leaves. So I'm going to start here with like, I don't know, I guess this is like a banana leaf or something. And I am going to just stamp those right on there. So this is the front of our card, the front of our envelope, and the inside of our card is all getting a little sprig there with that leaf. And then I'm going to come in with our other leaf, kind of the pointy one, and do a little bit of stamping with that one. Again, this is the front of the card, the inside of the card, and our envelope. So all 3 of them are getting this treatment. Here we go. And one more. There. Okay, so lots going on there with our greenery. Now, before I put away my black ink, I'm also going to take our branch, and I'm just stamping this one onto the radiating stitches die. This is the smaller radiating stitches piece. And I want to make sure that my leaves don't go off the other side. But, oh, and actually I want to put this down a little bit lower so I have space for my sentiment. There we go. So I've just stamped my branch across there, just a little bit above center. So the bottom of these leaves is basically at center. So that is almost all of our stamping. We have one more piece to stamp here somewhere in our pack. Whoops. I think I just tapped my computer. There we go. Somewhere in our stack, we've got a little piece of basic white that we're going to stamp our monkey on. Now you want to grab the monkey that works with the punch, so the one with the short legs. And I do like to stamp him off to one side because that way I can hold the paper and punch him out easily. All right, that is it for our Memento Black ink. I am going to do just a little bit more stamping right now on our strip of paper, but I'm going to use Pecan Pie ink. So this is one of our new colors, and I think it's going to be my new favorite brown. I mean, I still love early espresso, but this one for a lighter brown just is really, really nice and just feels warm and fuzzy to me, like critters, like monkeys and stuff. Okay, I'm not sure what's happening with my computer. Things keep popping up on it. So strange. All right, so I'm going to take this sentiment and stamp it right in the middle of that strip of paper. And I just realized comments. There we go. All right, so if you're popping on and watching, if you want to say hi in the comments, I love to see who's here with me. And yeah, that'd be great. All right, so with that stamping done, we're going to do a little bit of coloring. So I am going to grab my Pecan Pie, those are Pecan Pie, right? Yep, my Pecan Pie blends, as well as my Granny Apple. And you don't need it, but I just love it so much. I'm also going to grab my light bubble bath. It's kind of not essential. Oh, hi, Lisa. Yeah, so the light bubble bath is not essential, but I'll show you what you can do with it if you want to use it. All right, so we're going to start coloring our monkey. And so this is where I'm going to use my Pecan Pie. And so I'm going to make his face darker than the rest of his body. So I'm going to start with my dark Pecan Pie. And you just want to make sure that you don't color over top of the whites of his eyes. It's kind of the only rule here. And so we're just going to color in this darker part of his face. He's so cute. Okay, there we go. Now, again, not essential, but I do like to do it. I like to just take my light black and make his eyes just a little bit darker. There we go. All right, but not essential. Okay, now I'm going to take my light Pecan Pie and I'm going to start with his legs and then kind of circular motion, go over towards his other leg, circular motion. And so I'm trying to do this fairly quickly because when you're using alcohol blends, you want to kind of go over top and blend it all before it starts to dry. As long as the alcohol is still wet in these, then they blend really nicely and you end up with no kind of like streak marks you can't see where you colored, which is what I love so much about blends, because when I color with markers or something like that, I can always see my coloring lines and I don't like that. Okay, so we're just about done coloring him. Now you could have also stamped him on cardstock and then cut him out, and that would have worked too. And when you do that, then I just like to take like a little white pen to make the whites of his eyes stand out again. All right, so now I'm just going around his ears again and darkening that up. and especially on the one side of his body. There we go. And we'll do his tail a little bit more, make it a bit darker. Awesome. And now that bubble bath that I said you totally don't need, and you totally don't, you could come in and just use it to lighten up the centers of his ears just a tiny bit. So it doesn't actually make them pink, it just makes them lighter. So just a little bit different. Oh, hi, Kim. You're really not late. I just got started. I'm just coloring one of our little monkeys using our brand new pecan pie. And then I did put a dash of bubble bath into his ears. So that is it for coloring him. So now I'm going to grab my punch and I'm going to pop in here, line them up. There we go. And there. Punch them out. So we have a few extra bits here that we don't need. So I'm going to get rid of those. And we'll grab our little monkey that we do need. Okay. So, so cute. Now, I don't know if I showed you this, but if you do decide to punch out the pieces of the monkey, you get the little pieces to make his ear, you get the pieces to make his face, you'll have his whole body, and then we do have an extra stamp that's just got a face, so you can stamp that face onto your cardstock, and you actually don't even need the whites because it's got the little closed eyes, so it's pretty sweet. All right, so we've got him all done. We're going to bring all these other pieces back. And before I do any coloring on here, I'm actually going to grab my Granny Apple Green ink and a blending brush, and I'm going to blend a little bit of color across the bottom of these. Okay. So I'm just going to grab that green. Just like that. So that's the inside of our card. And I'm just going to blend it up a bit. Okay, so there. And then I'm going to do just a little bit less on this one because we do have our tree up above. Okay. There we go. So just a tad bit of green across the bottom of these. And then we are still going to add color using our blends though, because that's just kind of to give it, I don't know, that warm, jungly feeling. I don't know. It just kind of adds to the ambiance. So I am going to start with my paintbrush end of my light Granny Apple Green. And I'm really not carefully coloring anything. I am just kind of coming in and quickly adding a layer of light Granny Apple Green to all of this. I'm like, yeah, really not being careful at all with that. All right, we're going to do the same to the inside piece. So it's just really quick, get some color down. Okay, and we're going to do our envelope as well. We'll be a little bit more careful here because we don't have the green wash on the envelope. You could totally put the green wash on your envelope. I just didn't. So I'm going to be just a little bit more careful here. All right. So that is, oh, and sorry, I forgot. We have leaves over here as well on our tree. We're going to give them a little wash as well. This is just a Stampin' Blends marker that I'm using. All right. Good morning, Janet. Okay, so now with that done, I'm going to take the fine tip of my dark Granny Apple Green, and I'm going to come in and put some accents on these leaves. And so I'm going to try not to color them the same, even though they are really the same. And then I'm also going to run this along the bottom edge of all of my leaves. I don't know, I'm awful at knowing like where the shadow should be, but I figure the shadow's usually on the bottom of things. And these guys, I'm just going to run it down the center of the leaf. Okay. And same with my front, just along the bottom edge. There we go. And color these in. And again, I'm going to try not to color the two leaves the same. All right. Just about. And one more set for our insides. There we go. So, I mean, you could really not like do all this extra detail and just color the leaves and it would be totally fine. Oops. There we go. Okay, now that I've done all that dark coloring, I'm actually going to go back in with the fine tip of my light pen, and I'm going to blend that on all of the leaves. So by blending that, I'm just coloring over top of the dark and then also over top of my light. So it's all going to blend together. On the larger leaves, I'm just going to color some more spots with my light just to give them a third tone in there. So then we have light green, dark green, and light times 2. Okay, so it just adds a little bit more interest. So it's all, you know, one color. We're not going crazy with our colors, but we are just adding a little bit extra to it. And then it also allows you, like if you went out of the line somewhere or it looks kind of funny or you missed a spot, you can use this last coat to kind of go in and fix things up. There we go. Just about done. All right, so I hope you guys are having a great day so far. I am loving this weather. I've been getting out in the garden, getting out for bike rides, and it's going to be great weather. We've been raising ladybugs at school, and so it's going to be great weather for releasing them. Yeah, isn't that wash nice? It just kind of, I don't know, adds to the warmth, the jungly feel. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my dark pecan pie and I'm going to just run it along the bottom edge of my branch here. Get a nice dark layer. Okay, and then I'm going to take the skinny end of my light pecan pie and I'm going to color in the rest of my branch and also come down and go over top of that dark that I did so that it all blends. But we did get that kind of shadowed look to the bottom of our branch. Okay, so you guys, not sure if you can see that, but so it's got kind of like, it goes from dark to light. So that's how a branch would be. It would be darker on the underside, sun's not shining there. So, all right, we are ready to put our card together now. We have all of our pieces created. Oops, I got to snip the ends of this one. I'm just simply taking my paper snips and snipping the edges. And there we go. Nothing much to that. All right, so now with all the pieces prepped, we're going to put this whole card together. Now, I'm not using glue for everything on this card like I would normally, because with the stitched radiating dies, I don't want glue going through those holes. Okay, so I am actually going to get started by putting that piece down with some seal. But before I put it down, I am going to attach a ribbon right across the center of it. Now I am attaching that kind of the cheater way too, in that I am going to use seal for that as well. Now I personally prefer Seal Plus actually. There we go. There we go. So I'm just doing a little strip of Seal Plus on each side so that when I lay this across the center, I can just tuck the ends into the adhesive that I put on the back there. So they just kind of stick like that on the back. Okay, now with that done, I can go ahead and add a full border of Seal Plus so that this can stick to our card front. And a little dab in the middle too, just for fun. All right, so I'm going to take that whole piece and line this up on the front of my card. This is the part I don't like because I actually have to line it up today because I don't have liquid glue. Okay, voila, not bad. All right, with that done, I can go back to using my liquid glue to put in my centerpiece. So this lovely piece is going on the inside of our card. Here we go. Grab that. Pop that in here. So there we go. And yeah, it just has kind of like a nice warm feeling in there. Okay, close that up. Now this piece we are going to attach to our card front, but we're going to use dimensionals to attach it. Now I don't want dimensionals in the center because that's where my ribbon is, but I can do all four corners. And then I can also kind of go just right above and below center. Just going to cut up some edging here. There we go. All right. So just above and below center, so then it won't go over top of my ribbon. Okay. Peel those off. There we go. And this actually lines up beautifully. You can actually see exactly where to put it to make it centered by looking at the inside of the radiating stitches die that's already on our card front. Okay, so now before I put my monkey and my sentiment on, I'm going to tie my bow, and I'm doing that by putting this piece of ribbon underneath. And then I'm going to create two little bunny ears and wrap them around each other. Oops. And by doing that, I'm able to keep my bow a little bit flatter because this is a fairly thick ribbon. This is the Pool Party 3/8 of an inch grosgrain ribbon. And so it is a little bit thicker. So by wrapping it around that center piece, I don't have to tie a knot first. And that helps me keep my bow quite, like the knot of my bow quite small, which is always a good thing. Okay, so once you have that how you like it, then we can trim up the end. So you will see that you have more ribbon than you need. That's just so that you have ribbon to work with for tying your bow, because there's nothing worse than trying to tie a bow and not having enough ribbon to work with. Okay, so there we go. That is created, and now we're going to attach our just swinging by to say hi, and I am actually going to attach that with dimensionals as well. This card gets quite popped up actually. I am going to make sure though to keep them kind of away from this edge because I don't want them going off my front piece. Okay, I may have to trim up this one a little bit, we'll see. So I want that on my card so that it's not covering up too much. There we go. Let's see, maybe I can just tuck that under. There we go. I'll just tuck that under. That works. All right, so my sentiments on there, just swinging by to say hi. And now I'm going to add my monkey, and my monkey's also getting added with dimensionals. And so I'm just popping 2 dimensionals onto the back of my monkey. And then when I placed him, I just tried to place him so it looked like his little hand was grabbing onto the branch. Okay, so just like that, just swinging by. Now the final touch to this card is to add some embellishments, but I wanted to keep it really quite subtle. So I'm using my iridescent pearls again. I think these are my new favorite embellishment. I mean, they're not new. We had them in our last catalog, but I just love them. They are just such a nice way to add a little bit of something to a card front without kind of distracting from the awesome little images that we've got here. So, oops, pop those on right like that. Grab one more, maybe pop it over here. There we go. And so just a few little iridescent pearls on that card to finish it up. And just like that. Oh, yeah, bows, Kim. Bows are, the only way to get better is to practice them. They can be really tricky. So that was our first card, and we have our fun little decorated envelope to go with it. I'm going to set that off to the side, and we're going to bring in our second card. I won't put these too far away because we need those for this card. So I wanted to show you that we don't have to color everything when we create with this stamp set. This one worked out quite well just with using some Versamark. And so we've just used 3 little stamps and one quick run through my white embossing powder. Now the background, that's where the fun kind of comes in. So I'm going to show you that in a moment. We're going to get started though. We're going to do our embossing first. So I'm going to grab my kit. And I'm not sure if you could tell in that picture, but the black layer that we are embossing also, oh my, this is really stuck. I wonder if this piece of cardstock is not the right size. Yikes. Let's take those bits out. And I'm going to double check this base because it doesn't want to come out of my envelope. Hey. Oh my goodness. I might actually have to. Oh. What is going on? Okay, I'm going to have to grab a new envelope. That's crazy. Okay. Well, let's just double check the size of this because I don't think that this is cut at 5.5. Just a guess. 5.5. Oh, yeah, it's way off. Wow. I must have grabbed a scrap thinking that it was the right size. Okay. There we go. So there is our card base that will now fit into an envelope. That was crazy. We are going to hold off on doing this layer. We're going to put all these little pieces off to the side for now. And I am even going to put that white off to the side. I'm going to put my black card base off to the side. And I'm grabbing just this one small piece of black. And it does have the radiating stitches dies on there. So the first thing I'm going to do with this is grab my embossing buddy and wipe down the whole thing so that we don't have embossing powder sticking where we don't want it. Okay, so that was job 1. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get all my stamps ready that I want for this. So I want the monkey, I want the heart, and I want the words little monkey. There they are. I want the words little monkey. So with all 3 of those ready to go, I'm going to grab my Versamark, and I'm actually going to stamp all 3 before I do any embossing. Okay, so I'm going to ink up my little hanging monkey. I'm not even really giving him anything to hang from. I'm just putting his tail up quite close to the top of this piece of black. So it looks like maybe he's hanging off there. Now, you guys cannot see it well, but I can see well enough that I can put this heart into the hand of my monkey. And I can stamp the words little monkey all the way down at the very, very bottom. So it really does not show for you guys. It's very faint for me as well. And now that I've done that, I'm going to grab my tray of embossing powder. And I'm going to run this through my white embossing powder. And just like magic, everything appears. Okay. Now what I love is because we used our embossing buddy, as I just do that light tap, all the powder falls away from where I don't want it. Okay, that's looking good. Now I am just going to run my finger around the edges because with this stitching, the white powder can sometimes get stuck in there a bit. If you actually own the Radiating Stitches dies, it might be wise to stamp first, like measure out your space, stamp first, and then die cut it. But this just guarantees you get everything where you want it. Okay. So with that done, we are going to heat it up. There we go. So that is the front of our card, just already done, like that simple. So now what we're going to do is create the background of our card. So this piece is going to go right there on our front. But before we do that, we're actually going to use some of the Radiating Stitches dies to create some texture on here. Now, again, I don't like using liquid glue with the Radiating Stitches dies, so I am actually going to grab my Stampin' Seal Plus again. And all I'm going to do is put a couple strips of this Seal Plus across the back of these circles, and I'm going to place them onto my card front. And I'm even going to let them kind of go off the edges in some spots. Okay, so really not a big rhyme or reason to this. Trying to space out the large ones, keep things out towards the edges because our center is going to get covered anyways. Okay. And so I'm just popping these 5 around the edges. You've got 5 large circles like that. And then I'm going to use these little ones to fill in the spaces. Oops. Come on. All right, so that looks good to me. We've got all of our space kind of covered. Now, what I do need to do before we kind of finish this off is I need to flip it over and trim up my edges because I did let some of these circles go off the edge. There we go. Pick up all those extra pieces. One more. There we go. And now we've got this kind of funky background all created. ready to have a ribbon tied around it. And we're going to do that same little trick we did before. Is I'm just going to take my ribbon and cut it slightly larger. There we go. Just slightly larger than my cardstock is. And then I think for this one, just because of how I've placed these, well, actually, yeah, I'm going to place this a little bit lower, put my bow a little bit lower than I did on the other one, just kind of based on how my circles ended up. Okay, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to use some seal here to hold that ribbon. Oh, that's too far out. There we go. Some seal to hold that ribbon. There. All right, and now this can get glued down to the front of my card. And I will use glue for this because there's no radiating stitches dies on here. So I can put glue right on the back, just like that. And this gets centered right on here. Just like that. Okay. So with that done, this piece can now go onto the front of our card, and I'm going to use dimensionals to do that. So let's see, grab a pack, 4 corners and the center. There we go. Just like that. Awesome. And then we're going to take, oh, I just dropped my ribbon. We're going to take just a little scrap of ribbon. Well, not that little. You probably want at least 10 inches of ribbon. And we're going to, there we go, put it underneath our ribbon, just like we did before. Make 2 little bunny ears. And wrap them around each other. And then we just play with this until we get the size of bow that we want and having that lay down the way we want it to. So it's just a lot of wiggling back and forth, pulling the tails and getting it to sit the way we want it to. All right, there we go. And once you have the bow that you'd like, we just take our scissors. Oh, where did I put mine? Oh, they're there. We just take our scissors, trim up those ends. There we go. And of course, embellish with some iridescent pearls. Yeah. So yeah, these cards are pretty cool. So I did design them, sort of. They are cards from my monthly team meeting that I have. These were actually designed by Rhonda Wade. But she used an entirely different stamp set, actually. She used, I think, the Time to Grow stamp set from the online exclusives. I don't know, it was trees and really beautiful stuff. So I kind of modified them and added in the monkey instead. So this idea of the circles in the background, that was Rhonda Wade's idea. So kind of cool. All right, now I'm going to take this white piece, and before I put it inside my card, I'm actually going to take my little heart and some Memento black ink and stamp that once inside. And there we go. And I'm going to do the same to my envelope if I can find it. Where did I put my envelope? Oh. Well, that's interesting. My envelope has just entirely disappeared on me. So I'll do that later when I find it. Now I am going to color it in. Again, this is optional, but I'm just grabbing my Pool Party blend and going to color in the heart that's on the inside of my card. And you would do the same thing to your envelope if you don't lose your envelope the way I did. All right, so I'm just going to take that. And so this one's great because this could be a birthday card, a congratulations card, a welcome baby card, like so many options here because it just says little monkey across the front and really nothing else. So we can make this card truly for anything. And there you go. We have our second card all done. That's so strange about my envelope disappearing. Oh, I know, because my cardstock didn't fit. That's why. I ended up wrecking my envelope when I opened it. There we go. All right, and this is our final card, our third card. I can move some of these things out of the way. Don't need those stamps. And this one is one of my favorite fun folds. Made a little bit more fun. So it's just a piece of cardstock. I've cut off this side. I trimmed it down and embossed it. We're going to glue that piece onto this card front. Now, you can use liquid glue, you can use seal, whatever you'd like, but I do recommend a strong adhesive because this was embossed with one of our basics embossing folders, and the dots on this basic embossing folder are deep. Like, it is truly 3D and crazy deep dots. So some kind of really strong adhesive to be able to kind of grab around the giant holes in the back of this. Okay. So that piece gets glued straight down. And then I'm going to take this piece and we're going to attach it to the inside of our card like that. And so this is what I mean by made even cooler, because instead of just a regular piece of cardstock on the inside, we have the radiating stitches dies. So now I don't actually need this. So I'm just going to wipe it off into the center of that. And I'm going to grab my seal because I'm putting down adhesive over top of all that stitching. I don't want it seeping through those holes. So by using dry adhesive like Terran tape or Seal or Seal Plus, you can adhere in those spots without having it leak through. All right, it just means that when we attach this, we really need to line it up before we put it down. There we go. Okay. So that is the base of our card all created. That is one of the 3 in the package. They're called Basics 3D embossing folders. And you get the dots, the crosshatch, and the little rosettes. So really beautiful set. All right. So now we have a piece of Pool Party, another radiating stitches die, and a spot to stamp our monkey. Now, before I stamp this monkey, though, I want to... Oh, I never showed you guys the card. Oh, my goodness. There we go. So we're using the other monkey, the one that we can't punch, but we're also using the banana that we can. So I'm going to actually start here and stamp our monkey first, and then our banana, because our banana will fit into a much smaller space. So we're going to grab our monkey and pop them on here. Isn't he sweet? And then we're going to grab our banana and pop them on here. Now, you're probably wondering why there's so much extra. That's because I want kind of like a little handle to hold on to when I go to punch out this banana. Okay, so I'm going to just not fussy cut, but just quick cut our monkey. I'm going to quickly color our banana. I'm using Light Lemon Lolly. This is one of our new colors. And it's just such a fun, vibrant, awesome yellow. Love it. And then instead of trying to be all fussy cutting that out, I am just going to pop this in here, and you can see now it's nice to have that little handle. Pop in there and cut out my banana. It is such a cute bundle. So now I'm going to keep this little scrap because it's great for other bananas or whatever else I might need to do. There's my little banana. Get rid of the extra little white bits here. Okay. And now I'm going to color and unfortunately fussy cut my monkey. So my monkey gets colored again with my pecan pie, but I'm going to actually do him the reverse this time. I'm going to do his face lighter and his body darker. So you can see how that just switches around. And then this time, again, you don't need the black and the bubble bath, but this little guy, his nose is actually drawn in. So you could do his nose darker, or you could grab the bubble bath and give him a cute little pink nose, which is what I'm going to do. I don't know if monkeys have pink noses, but that's what we're going to do. All right. So I'm going to grab my bubble bath, my fine tip end, and give his nose a little go. And it's such a light, like so light, such a light pink. I love it. All right, now for this one, because we're using the darker, I'm actually going to go in with my bubble bath, and then I'm going to go over it with my light instead of the dark. Okay, you could even just go back in again and really lighten it up. I don't want like these ridiculously pink ears. I just want it to look a little bit different than the rest of our monkey. All right, and then I'm going to color his whole body with my dark pecan pie. So the reverse of our last monkey. So you guys can see the two different looks. Decide which one you like more. Okay. There we go. And then we can still get some shading going on with him, even though we're using the dark. Means we can go back in and add more dark to some spots. Okay, so that's exactly what I'm going to do now that I've colored all of him. I'm going to come back in to this ear, the one that's down lower, and give a little bit more darkness there, more darkness there, a bit more darkness there. Okay. And once I've finished doing a little bit more with the dark, I am going to come in with my light and just help blend it all. Okay, there we go. So you can see how the two pens work together. Well, maybe you can't see, but how they work together to kind of blend it all and create some fun little look there. Now, this guy doesn't have a punch. His legs are all wrong. His tail's on the wrong side. So unfortunately, that means we have to fussy cut him. But he's actually pretty easy to fussy cut. I am going to leave a little white border on him. You don't have to, but, or you could leave a bigger border on him. I'm going to leave quite a small one. All right. But the lines are pretty smooth and easy to cut. There we go. All right, so while I'm doing the rest of this fussy cutting, just wanted to let you know about a few things. If you were not aware, the new catalog has gone live. You can see it online. I've got links all over the place on my blog for the digital version. Hopefully, if you are already a customer of mine, you have your catalog. I know there's a few of you who are local to me who I haven't seen yet. I'm going to actually try and get out for a bike ride today and deliver some to those of you who are extra local to me. But just give me a ring and I can either put one out in the mailbox for you or meet up with you somewhere and get a catalog into your hands, because everything is available. And then before you go and place an order and stuff like that, also take a look at some of the classes I'm offering. If it's the in colors that interest you, I'm actually offering an in color club, and I'm doing it a little bit different this year. We're not doing one color a month. We're doing one whole product type a month. So in the first month, which is May, we're doing all of the inks and all of the cardstocks. And then in the second month, we're doing like some embellishments and some ribbons. And then I think the month after that, it's the other ribbons and the other embellishments. And one of the months is the blends. So we're going to build it differently this go round. That way you get your hands onto the colors quickly instead of having to wait to get the final color. All right, before we glue this down, we have some stamping to do here. So now I'm going to take that branch that I used before. I'm going to stamp it the other direction now. So I'm going to switch that around. I also have a stamp camp coming up. I'm teaming up with Ange and all of those girls. There's 7 of us total. We're getting together to do another stamp camp, and we're featuring the Darling Details bundle. It's a stamp set and dies, the coolest dies ever, on page 68 of the new catalog. Let me just double check that before I go and tell you the wrong thing. Yeah, page 68. Sorry, interrupting my monkeys for a moment. Page 68 of the catalog is where Darling Details is, but take a look at the dies down way at the bottom. They are so cool. They are what creates this funky pattern here, this little border. Like, they're so much fun. So we're doing a stamp camp featuring that. So you want to see the details, especially if you're thinking about grabbing that stamp set, because we have deals when you use our host codes around ordering that and getting the stamp camp. What else? So in Color Club. Oh, and my catalog launch. It's an online launch happening this Sunday. I also have an in-person one, but it's not happening until May 27th. Oh, hello. Thanks for joining from Florida. Yeah, we're just finishing up card number 3. So we are almost done here. It's just stopping to, well, I was doing some fussy cutting and letting people know that I have a bunch of new classes coming with the release of our new catalog. All right, so just like on the first tree, I'm doing just a little run of dark pecan pie across the bottom before I come in with a thin tip of my light pecan pie to color in the rest and blend that all together. Okay. So yeah, you definitely want to check out all my upcoming classes. And like I said, my In Color Club is being run really different this year than I've seen other people run them, and definitely than I've ever run them. All right, our sentiment's going to pop on here as well. It says, I'm bananas about you. Now, I did use Smoky Slate ink for this one because the background is Smoky Slate. If you would like it to pop more, you could use black, but I was just worried it would stand out too much. Although, here, I did one in Smoky Slate. I'll do this one on black so we can see the difference, and then you can decide for yourself when it's time for you to do your stamping. There we go. So I'm bananas about you. Oh, actually, it's not too dark. I was worried about that, but okay, it's working. Now our little monkey, actually we should attach this first. This is going to go onto our pool party. But again, because it has the stitching, I'm going to use my Seal Plus or some other dry adhesive. I'm not going to use my liquid glue, my favorite liquid glue. All right, there we go. So if you haven't joined my catalog launch group yet, I do have a separate group running for it. I've paired up with 2 demos from the States, and we're going to have content for you for the day. You don't have to be there to catch it all live. Totally, you know, it's pretty easy breezy. Just pop in and out as you'd like. And of course it's a group, and so the content will just live there, so you can come back and watch it later. But we have a ton of samples and cool things to share with you. And some videos, live video presentations of new stamp sets and all sorts of stuff. So it's going to be a pretty awesome day. Okay, so I'm going to attach this, but now you'll notice I only put adhesive on this side of the panel. I don't want to glue my card shut. This still needs to be able to open, so no adhesive over there. All right, so that's glued down. Now I can attach my monkey and my banana. I am going to use dimensionals to do that. So dimensional on his head and on his body. And this time I'm going to make it so it looks like the tail and the arm are grabbing onto the branch. And then to attach that banana, I actually am going to grab, nope, that's not what I want, a mini glue dot, or mini dimensional. And I'm going to put that on the back of my banana in a spot where it will be fully hidden. So pick a spot on the banana that's wide enough to handle a dimensional, and then I'm just going to tuck that into his hand like that, and the dimensional sits on the card base. And then finally we finish it up with our iridescent rhinestones again. So just pop one up there, and there, one in there. So just like that, we are finished our 3rd card. Okay, and so you can decide if you like it with the gray or with the black. I'm actually undecided. I like them both. I think this one's a little softer, more subtle, but it's also nice to see that sentiment stand out. So I am going to bring in, oh, excellent, Kim. I'm so glad. Yeah, and the launch is great because you can join no matter where in the world you are and just watch along. And yeah, we've got lots of fun going on. And we do have a few places to earn prizes as well. So check that out, enter in the contests, and enjoy yourself. So those were our 3 cards for today's Little Monkey card class to go. So with a $60 purchase, using my host code, you can get the make and take kits to make 6 cards, 2 of each of the designs. And then if you are not wanting the card kits but would like a PDF tutorial, I do have a link for that as well in my card class to go section on my website, so you can check that out. But yeah, to get the actual make and take, so you get like your pieces of ribbon and your die cut bits and all of that with those radiating stitches dies and all that, it's simply by placing a $60 order with me. And if you place a $75 order, I'll also throw in a package of embellishments. It might be the iridescent pearls to go with this one, and it might just be something new from our catalog. So it will definitely be current product though, current embellishments. So thanks so much for joining me. Please check out all of my other upcoming classes. I've got some great partnerships, some great events coming up. And yeah, have a wonderful day. Thanks for joining. Bye.